Three, two, one. Yo, we are live coming at you with another episode of Majority Rules. It's your host and co-host, Pasquale and Sean, back at you again. Today, we got a very interesting show for you tonight. We got my boy from high school, actually, world-renowned international DJ Nick Russo, and his international liaison, Brian. Everybody say what's up. What's going on, guys?
What up, what up, what up? Yo, we're happy to be here, man. Been looking forward to this, to chat with you guys. My man Be Real in the building, official music group, baby. What's up, what's up?
You've come like a long way from doing our high school Sweet 16 fucking DJing those parties and proms and shit like that. So why don't you tell me how you got to where you are now?
If I could break it down as easy as possible, I'd say I was just always out. I was always outside. I was always showing my face, from the teen nights to the 18 plus parties to the nightlife parties, and staying consistent. Obviously working on my craft, developing my skills. My skills obviously helped a lot. But I'd say nowadays it's definitely more about showing your face, networking. And that's what got my network to be so wide and internationally known.
So, you were always a different breed of a person. Like, you were very, very good DJ, but you were always the different guy that would shout me out as I walked across the dance floor to go find the bar. And I always thought that to me mentally, I was like, this guy's the fucking man, because no one knows me in the club. And we'd be in a prestigious Manhattan club, and they'd be like, there goes fucking Sean. And I'd be like, oh shit, he just shouted me out. And I'd be like all excited, and I'd run over to my friends like, oh, he was talking about me, bro. So where would you say you got your biggest break in New York?
The biggest break definitely came when I got my residency at One Oak. This guy Richie Romero asked me randomly. I know him through nightlife. He's like, yo, Nick, we're looking for an opening DJ on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at One Oak. I was like, yo, that's the hottest club in New York. I'm like, I'll fucking do it, and that from there got my name, a little bit more in the scene. And believe it or not, because of that actual club, I was a resident at One Oak, and we'll talk about that later, how it led to Japan, but literally it's because of One Oak that really started my career and made me look more of a prestigious in the scene type of DJ,
And how'd you hook up with Brian?
Oh, that's a great story.
Man.
Brian, I'll let you tell that, Brian.
I want to say I had a residency in a bar in Midtown. This is early on for me. This is my first residency, just getting my feet wet.
All right, so wait.
Yeah.
For because I kind of know, but not exactly what the Webster's dictionary definition of resident DJ is. What is that?
That means that you're hired on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis, and you're one of the house guys. So it's not it's not like you're booked in for a certain event, or you're hired for a one-off. This is
it's a common thing. You're there.
Yeah, you're there every week. So
you're getting a steady check no matter what.
Yes. So ideally, a club, you want a monthly residency, but you're every, depends what type of DJ you are. But at this time, for me, as a beginner, to have a place that I could do 2 nights at is absolutely a beautiful thing. So that's kind of how I was introduced in this place as a resident, and I was there. And I just remember at this time, Nick's been DJing. He's older than me and was DJing more than me. So the managers were like, hey, you're good, but we know this kid, we're going to take you off Friday and we're going to let him rock. But we want you to come and check him out so you can kind of see more of the direction we want to go to.
Did you take that as a shot? Yo, you trying to say that I'm fucking trash?
Immediately, I'm like, fuck this kid. just off rip. So I show up on Friday. I'm there a little early. I'm drinking. I'm a little bitter about the situation. So Nick pulls up. He starts DJing. And I kind of just let him get into the groove. Maybe 2 hours in, I walk over, say what's up. But now my attitude changed because Nick was actually doing his fucking thing. And I was like, wait a second. Maybe I can learn from this guy. So I changed my attitude and I approached him correctly. But Yeah, so in the beginning, I was like, fuck this guy. Straight off the rip. This guy's stepping on my toes. But then as a younger DJ, I was always, motivated. And I knew that I didn't have all the answers. And maybe the manager was trying to help me, not play me. So I took a positive attitude towards it. And that's kind of how we became friends. Yeah.
Sick. Well, because, I mean, if you really think about it, he could have easily let you go and been like, Nick is taking your spot.
He was like,
Straight
come check him out. But then I spoke to Nick, and I was like, what's up, man? I'm Brian. Blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, listen, I'm only booked twice a week. Nick at that time was booked 5-6 nights a week. So I was like, yo, let me come shadow you. And then I would just come and anything I could be helpful to learn, that was kind of the DJ I was. And Nick was the guy who was, as long as you didn't annoy him, you could rock. So I just never annoyed him. And then before you know it, we became drinking buddies more or less.
Hey, play this fucking song for me. Oh,
I mean,
you gotta have etiquette.
I'm pretty sure most of all our bonding is through drinking. Pretty sure me and Pasquale were getting drunk profusely when we first started this thing about where we're gonna take this show.
We had the greatest conversations.
Yeah.
But before we get into the crazy shit, like, how's it going right now? It's got to be like a totally different fucking world. Like, you guys got to be either bored out of your fucking mind, or just, I don't know, like, you guys do like any live shows or like.
So like, I mean, we haven't worked consistently since probably like March 13th, around St. Patrick's Day. In the beginning, everybody was all about this live stream stuff. And like in the beginning, we were into it. I bought all the cameras, I learned the OBS software. We attempted it a couple of times. Brian did it a couple more times than me, but I didn't honestly feel like there was a return in the investment of my time to really dedicate to that. I felt like the only people that were getting big numbers were like big name DJs that had the base following. And like, we tried it out. We had fun. We did it a couple times, but I thought it was kind of like not really worth it. And now I see it's kind of changed. But once again, the big name DJs that have that 10 to 20,000 following base to start with, they're trying to do their live stream on a new platform like Twitch. They have more of an organic base following than someone like me with 6,000 followers or Brian with like 3,000. So like, we never push it as hard, and I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy we didn't, but at the same time, who knows what could have happened. But I was working fucking 5, 6. Brian was working 7 nights a week. I was working 6 nights a week. I needed this break, bro. I'm thankful that this pause of my life happened, but I want to get back to work now. Now it's been fucking too long.
Yeah, right. It's a nice wake up call for a little while, but after so long, it's like, all right, this is now starting to become an insane fucking situation where it's just not sustainable or healthy for anybody. But it's funny that you said that, because I mean, it's the same shit that I think about with this, that podcasts have been taken to like a level that like it's never been where it is now, like 5-10 years ago, that now fucking guys like Rob Lowe made a podcast.
Yeah, because you got,
and he's just a fucking 80s celebrity. Like, how am I supposed to compete with whoever the fuck he has on? But
not even that. It's just
you got to push through it,
bro.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, you got fucking I would say like 40% of celebrities now have a podcast.
Right. And like I bank on the fact that I want people like us to listen to us, instead of people like swinging off of celebrity dicks to hear those stories.
But you got to remember, anything you do, there's always going to be someone famous-er to do it. You know what I mean?
It's like a numbers game, I feel like.
It is.
Like a Rob Lowe, like you're talking about an actor like that, or someone of that stature with a following already. They could fucking do whatever they want. I want to start a podcast.
Right.
I have 2 million Instagram followers. One post on his Instagram. Hey, I started a podcast. He'll get 10,000 people to look at it.
He can literally be on the fucking video doing this all day. Just
right.
Look at me. All numbers.
20,000 views.
Yeah, look at me make toast.
These people with that type of celebrity that start podcasts, their main demographic is like the people that go to like their meet and greets. They have that type of following. Yeah. Starting a podcast where you're gonna build real listeners, you gotta have content. Like you said, you could just do that all day. So those people, I mean, it's more like I don't consider them like podcasts. They're more like
No.
celebrities talking to their fans.
Yeah.
I mean, like I look at it as like
kind of cheating. You're cheating.
yeah.
It's 100% cheating.
At the same time, you know, I look at it as they're doing a cash grab because it's hot right now, and none of them are really going to be sustainable because there's only so much that you want to hear about Rob Lowe talk about.
Yeah, but you got to understand something. If we thought about it like, oh, celebrities do this, you know what? I'm not going to do it. We'll never do anything. You guys won't
that
be
too. Right,
you know what I'm saying? You guys won't be DJing. We won't be doing a podcast.
Yep.
There's nothing you could do, and it goes for anything. Fucking skateboarding, riding your bike. It's just
How about DJing?
I was gonna say,
it's just, you know, if
like
you think about it like
what's
that.
his face from the fucking Jersey Shore.
Paulie D,
He took a lot of jobs away from people just for the fact of who he was.
Yep.
He wasn't all that. I've seen him.
No, I know him. I know him personally through people who like used to play with him in Rhode Island at this club Roxy. Bro, he had no idea. He was an opening. He would play for like 6 hours. He had no idea what he's doing. He was bad. And I mean, he's gotten better, of course. I would fucking hope so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're literally working every day.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was getting $50,000 a day at the Palms in Vegas in his prime. He was signed to G Unit. Like that guy.
Yeah.
Was he found off of his talent? Absolutely not. Like it's again. Back to the celebrity, B-list celebrity shit, you know.
Yeah.
Now he's an A-list.
Yeah. How sick is that?
I mean,
Crazy.
Paulie D did get better, and I do respect one thing about Paulie D. He was given a lane and he took it. We're talking. He's 11 years in the game now. Yeah. He's made a lot of money, so he's not so annoying. Like Paris Hilton's annoying. Yeah. Like as a DJ, watching Paris Hilton try to DJ, that's more nerve-wracking than Paulie D today. Paulie D early on was nerve-wracking, but he slowly got less annoying.
But you know why? He's less annoying is because he was a DJ. Then he got famous, and he stuck with it. Like he stayed with it. It's not like he's like, oh, I'm from the Jersey Shore. Fuck it, let me start fucking playing music.
Yeah.
He was shit, and then he took it, and then now he
stayed with it.
I give him props. He stayed consistent, and even though
that's what it is.
Yeah, he kept with it, and like God bless him, man. Like if you have something like that, like his hair is still the same that it looked fucking 10 years ago. God bless, man. Like he's got to be 40. He's got to be 40 plus years old by now. So
he's got to be 40.
I think he's 41. I think he's 40 or 41. Yeah, it's crazy.
He's got fabulous hair for his age. Because I want to say like half of our social circle, they're all bald. So if Paulie D still got that shit, props to him.
Run with it until it fucking falls out, man.
Yo, but seriously, I wanted to have you guys on. I mean, I was gonna have Nick on regardless, but these circumstances, I was like, oh, this is even fucking better than I could have hoped. Not that, you know, because the world is falling apart and shit, but I was like, you know, the one thing that nobody seems to be talking about, especially in New York, is the club scene.
Yeah.
In entirety. Like, all right.
You want to know why?
The restaurants that are doing outdoor seating, like they're struggling to survive, but they are surviving. What about all these nightclubs that bank on bottle service and tables and VIPs and fucking open bars and
you got to even remember
zero food whatsoever.
Wait, Sean, you got to remember something. Even the places that had outside DJing and all that, it's still not happening because you can't have that amount of people in the same spot.
No, like, but I think we all know that there's like rooftop parties on the low happening across Manhattan.
There's definitely I've seen underground parties underneath bridges. I've seen rooftop parties. I've seen illegal parties like on Steinway. I lived in Astoria like not too long ago, and like, dude, they had 1,000 people in the fucking street. Cars could not drive down the street. It looked like fucking,
it was like a block party.
It looked like Collins Avenue in Miami. It was fucking insane.
That should look like the Puerto Rican Day Parade with no police. That's what it looked like.
It did. Motherfuckers were on top of cars and shit, waving
around.
Yeah. Pop smoke, pop smoke. That's all you hear.
I mean, so back to the question, like the climate of nightclubs is in very bad shape because traditionally a nightclub makes their money Friday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Some successful nightclubs break even on a Thursday and might see a small profit on a Sunday.
Right. The revenue just keeps the place open week to week.
I'm gonna tell you this. after this is all over, there's gonna be a lot of fucking places that are like a go-to that won't be there no more. It's gonna be a lot of
100%.
places that are still standing because they made enough money to be like, okay, they're not gonna be the same, but they'll be out there.
Mm-hmm.
But those little fucking places that you
Yeah.
go in, there's like those 18 people, they're gone.
So like
Right.
Yeah,
The
there's no.
the other day, me and Nick were talking before we were recording about what we were going to talk about, whatever. We got into how a lot of those nightclubs are for show with their VIP service and shit like that. That like,
Oh yeah.
you know, when I was younger and I was the kid with my crew, like we were the suckers that were spending the money, and I'm looking around and I'm like, yo, this table looks like they didn't pay for shit. Neither did that table and that table and that table. So what the fuck is really going on here? And he was like, yo, you're the sucker, bro. Like, there's only a handful of tables that are actually spending the money, and everyone else is there, like, getting paid to be there to fucking post on Instagram, like, look, we're here. Like, look at my cool table and my Red Bulls I didn't pay for. Right.
You know what thinking back now, you know what I realized? Like, when we were younger, it was like, oh, I don't know if we have any tables left. And then you go and it's like 14 tables.
Because all the promoter tables left to the new spot or the after hour spot, you know.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you got to pay a little extra. I'll slide you in. And we're like, yeah, no problem. Here you go. And then you get there. It's like, motherfucker.
There's
Yeah,
nobody.
Son of a bitch.
It's like holding the line. There's a lot of smoke and
Yeah.
mirrors in the nightclub.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
we as I progress from the bar scene to like the club that has a natural following into like, okay, promoter bullshit, I started to see straight through it. Half these people are paid to be there. A lot of comps. It's
Right.
It's pure nonsense. And to think about it, you're seeing that from a customer standpoint.
Yeah.
We're seeing it from
Seeing it from the other side. We're seeing
Well,
it at the end of the night. Like it's horrible. It's worse than you could even imagine.
When I was younger, I had a friend that he was a big guy. He was a bouncer at some place, and we all used to go out to like, it was on like Bowery and shit, all those bars. And we went to one of his spots once, and he literally went in his pocket, and he had like coins like this, and they were like these weird wooden things. They were like chips, and he just like handed them to me, and he's like, "These are all free drinks. Use them today because I love you." And I was like, "No shit." He's like, "Just tip them." I was like, all right. And then like it's little things like that like it makes sense to keep your doors open, but realistically, when something like this happens, your business is fucked because you really didn't have actual money flowing.
No.
I could give you a perfect story of when I first saw it firsthand, smoke and mirrors. This is probably like 2014, I'd say. I went out to a nightclub. It was called Chelsea Hotel. I went with a promoter that I used to work with. His name's Anthony Doc. I don't like talking about his name because we don't associate with him anymore.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but you said it. So we were at the Chelsea room. I went there. I was like, ball at the time, you know, I was like, yo, like, I want to get a bottle. And he's like, cool. Like, I thought I was going to be like you guys. Like, I have to pay $400, whatever. I was willing to spend it. He's like, all right, just give me $30. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, here's a bottle ticket. All you have to do is pay the tip for the girl. And I was like, wait, what? I fucking bought 4 bottles that night. I just kept paying the tip. Everyone was like, I was the only one that was willing to pay the tip. Like, no one even wanted to pay the tip. And this is like 6-7 years ago. So I'm like, wait, this is all free? Yeah. And this is when like 10 June was around and all these clubs in Meatpacking were still open. So I was like, wow. So I'm connected. I only have to pay the tip. So I went out every fucking Wednesday to that party. Like, I was like, yo, here's $100. I walked in, here's 120. 3 bottles? All right, cool. I bought everybody drinks. I thought I was the man. But it's all smoke and mirrors after realizing it 6 years later, you know?
It's so unbelievable. And I'm the same guy. And they're like, your bill is $9,000.
Like, you get one bottle. And it's like, hey, here's $45,000. Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
and then they're like, yo, we're taking that bottle if you don't finish it on your way out. And I'm like, what? I just spent $9,000.
Yeah. At least I could walk out with the ass end of the vodka, right?
Yeah, please, man.
Oh,
please.
you want Red Bull? Yeah, here's
$25 each.
Here's another $38. You get a little fucking cup this big. Share it.
So here's a question from a consumer standpoint, and Nick, I don't think I've ever asked you this. From a professional standpoint, do you think the nightclub scene comes back the way it was, or they have to start completely from scratch, rip the whole fucking system down, giving out all this free shit to these cool kids and these broke ass model bitches. Like, do you think they have to start completely from scratch, redesign the nightclubs, redesign the VIP section, redesign fucking everything, and figure out a new formula that could work?
I'll take this. I'll take this one first.
Yeah.
This is my theory on it. People are so fucking trapped in their house and they're willing to fucking do whatever it takes to go out that the certain amount of clubs, like the big name ones, boom, right back in it. The other ones are 100% are gonna have to start over. They're like, these clubs are gonna get one DJ that are gonna fucking be like, all right, yo, he's rocking tonight. Everyone's gonna be like, fuck it, haven't did this in like 6-7 months, a year, or whatever it's gonna take. Bottle services, I don't know, but definitely gonna be packed within like the first week of doing things. Only big ones.
I would agree to disagree. I would agree with once it comes back, yes, it's going to be a splurge. It's going to be a surge of younger kids that are missing it. But in the overall sense of things, I'm going to say what Brian was saying is that I think it's going to be 100% change. I'm talking 3-year plan. Like in the beginning, it starts opening up, say it opens up in November, which it's not, but then it's going to get a surge of people. But once again, those people that were going out before were accustomed to that everything free. Now, when you have the venues only allowing 25% in or whatever, 50% capacity, they're not going to be giving out free shit. If they do, they're not going to fucking make money. So I think all that smoke and mirrors shit is going to be gone.
Right.
I think if they still continue to give out free shit, they're fucking morons and they're going to pack their clubs and not make money. They were able to get away with it in the past by packing the clubs with the fake. Brian calls them human furniture. That's what he calls those girls, which I think is my favorite term ever in nightlife. Human furniture. The girls that sit there with their phones out.
Up. Yeah.
Sorry, Brian. I took that from you. That's Brian. That's all Brian.
It's for the world. I mean, I hate them because I'm there trying to get a reaction out of a crowd, and this girl's just paid to be there. She don't give a fuck about me. She doesn't know anything about hip hop.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything about a nightclub. They just convinced her to stand here for $50, and she's here.
Yeah, exactly. Cardi B. Oh my God. Wow, wet ass pussy. Yeah.
It's fucking phenomenal. I personally think that it's gonna be different clusters across the city of what Pasquale's saying and what you're saying, and it's gonna be like, okay, maybe some of the prestigious places are gonna try to hold their head up high. There's going to be other places that are going to be like, Corona prices, come to our club. And like, we're slashing prices on everything. And like, you're going to be like used car salesmen. Like, just come, please, just come. Like, we're going to have open bar or whatever fucking scheme they're going to try to make to get people to come back. I think it's going to be mixed, very mixed across the board. Like, you know, some of those neighborhoods in the village and shit, like Lower East Side shit that's riddled with bars. I mean, really just going to walk around later and see who's still standing to go get a drink. That's what it may turn into. Like, you're gonna be like, all right, well, 4 out of 6 places are closed, so we're gonna drink at these 2.
It's gonna be different now. It's gonna be like boys free till 9. Just come on in.
Like, it's gonna be a very different view when walking around Manhattan when this is all trying to go back to normal.
In like the Lower East Side, like perfect example, like all of those venues were so small, but yet so popping. They would pack so many people in there. Like you walk around in the Lower East Side, you could hit 10 fucking bars in one street. You know, now if all these rules and all this shit are happening, how can you fully make money in a small Lower East Side club or bar or lounge if you're only at 50% capacity? I mean, I think those like you said, the smaller places will be the first to go. Like Marquee and the Tao Group spots that have restaurants attached to their shit, like Tao or Lavo has a restaurant. Like, they'll make the money in the restaurant. The nightclubs never were the bread and butter. They bank on the fucking 4 big customers, big clients coming in, dropping 5 to 10K. And then the whole other 80% of the other club is all smoke and mirrors. So they bank on that, those big clients coming in.
And more furniture.
Like they're waiting. And it's going to be all furniture. And then Sean's going to pull up with his boy popping champagne. Like, it's fucking like tomorrow's. Yeah, exactly.
So let's get into switching it around real quick. So I'm sure you guys been through some shit doing this. What is like the worst or like the funniest thing that like ever happened like during a nightclub or something to one of you? Whichever one of you want to answer. Because I'm so like fucking excited to hear about these drunk fucking messes.
Brian, what do you want to start with this? The first thing that came to my mind is super embarrassing, and I mean, I don't think many people have heard this story.
Take a sip and tell the story.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man. All right. This happened at a spot called Hotel on Rivington.
Yeah, I know this spot.
So I basically pulled up completely blacked out, wasted.
Oh, this is embarrassing for you.
Oh yeah. I'll sum it up quick. Basically, I was so drunk that like I was DJing, killing it. I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but the whole place was packed. I basically like peed in a fucking cup inside of the DJ booth, like blatantly in front of like the Hotel Rivington. The booth is like right in the windows, and that's more of an embarrassing story. All right, Brian, you tell the next story.
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin, really.
What was the question again? Like funny stories or
Crazy
Anything
stories.
like drunk fucking messes coming up to the DJ booth or what you see on the dance floor or anything.
Oh,
I mean,
I got a good one.
I got some X-rated ones, but I don't want to. I don't want to get there.
I mean that's fine. I mean, we don't really have a set of rules in place here, you know.
Shit.
I've had a girl come up to me at this Club C in Meatpacking. When me and Brian first met, she was like tripping on drugs, out of her mind, started like rubbing the DJ booth and was like licking the windows and like was so fucking weird and annoying. It came to the point when like she either wanted to fuck me or like was just so on drugs that she just thought I was like something else. And she kept annoying me, harassing me. I basically had to ask the bouncer, like, yo, this girl is so fucking annoying. I need you to get her the fuck out of here. That happens probably once every other week. Like,
I got one. That was during the Molly era.
yes, yeah.
So
I have bad Molly stories of myself.
I was DJing at Club Motivo with this kid DC that we used to know, and I actually got a video. Nick, remember this video of like these two people on Molly, like
oh my god, this
like,
was
inches from having sex on the stage, pretty much. Like this guy's literally pulling her pants down, so mollied out, dry humping her, like literally trying to like just bang her right in front of the whole audience. I had a video of that shit. It was horrible. They were so young and so fucking drugged
Sick.
up. Yeah,
Well, that was like that story that
with
that video from the bar in Hoboken where the guy was like,
Kirill,
yeah. No, not Kirill. Was it Kirill for that?
No, it was his party, but
it was his party. Right. It was that couple on the bar.
Exactly. He's like,
yeah, that was Hub in Hoboken.
Hub.
Yes,
It used to be called Teak.
Yeah. And that place was all over the fucking news for like, don't do like drugs are bad. Drugs are real bad.
Yeah, I have a real question.
Yeah.
How annoying is request?
I don't even want to talk about that. Question.
I'll answer that.
Like, all right.
I mean, all right. So like, if I'm playing a West,
he froze for a second. I was like, wait, he froze, right?
So look, if I'm playing a West Coast set, and I just hit you with a Dr. Dre, an Exhibit, you know what I'm saying, and then you come
Snoop
over,
Dogg,
if you come over and it's like, yo, can you play a Nate Dogg or something in that realm? I don't mind it. But
Right.
if I'm playing the West Coast set and you're like, it's my birthday, can you play
Britney Spears, bitch.
Yeah,
Like what?
Taylor Swift 22? Like I'm like, yo, just like we're not there right now.
Right.
And if you can't take no for an answer, and then you're gonna sit around and harass me, and if I'm in a club where I have a microphone, I'm gonna embarrass you.
Yo,
You know what
so
I'm
wait. So let me continue that story because perfect example. I'm at Libation. I'm playing a party. I think it was a daytime party. No, it might have been nightclub. Whatever. Long story short, the girl harassed me a couple of times, asking me for Whitney Houston. I played it already, right? She kept harassing me, and like it was her friend's birthday. Blah blah blah. I was drunk. I got on the mic, and I was like, if this girl asks me for another fucking request, I'm turning the fucking music off. If you want to hear a song, I better see $20 in your hand coming up to the DJ booth. Everyone started dying laughing. Next thing you know, guys are coming up to me, handing me 20s. The girl made a fucking huge deal. She complained to the manager. I got written up, wrote a bad Yelp review. I made $160 that night in tips, and everybody had the time of their life except for this one fucking girl.
Fuck that girl.
I got suspended from that same brunch over something similar. These young girls were like,
they were trolling him hard though.
But trying to, like one girl has the camera out, and then the other girl is trying to troll me to get a reaction out of me. And I was drinking, and I was just like I'm grown, like stop. So I kind of like just bugged out on them, like I see what you're doing.
You forgot to mention that you showed up extremely hungover, and you were not in the fucking mindset to even want to deal with any of those white girls. But
I started spazzing out on them, and then I got suspended for that. So you could lose one. Actually,
right, you could lose. You could potentially lose.
Look, here's a story, Nick. Without dropping names, a high-end DJ lost his temper, and with someone harassing him over a song request, and then he assaulted them.
Oh yeah.
And lost his job. Like we're talking about an established high-end DJ.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, you gotta keep your composure, no matter how annoying it is.
Right. Well, because I mean, technically, you're supposed to be the sober and mature one while we're working, but it is what it is. But look, on paper, they're supposed to be drunk fools, and we're supposed to be the professionals and act like one. Right.
You know what I love when I'm out and a girl's like, "Yo, go tell the DJ to play this song," and I'm like, "What the fuck do I look like to go full grown ass man to go fucking request a fucking song?" And I'm like, "What song?" And they're like, "It's the girliest fucking shit." Like, "Oh, play Spice Girls." Yeah, okay, give me 1 fucking second.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me, can you play Spice Girls? She wants it.
Here's how I could break it down to all the listeners out there. Here's the proper etiquette of how you go up to request a song from the DJ. First thing you would do is you'd approach the DJ, and the first thing you would do is give a positive reinforcement of like, "Hey, yo, your set is dope. Like, I'm really enjoying the music." Like, give a compliment. When someone comes in and gives me a compliment, you got my attention. Hey, like, I know like you're in this type of BPM. I know you're playing house music right now, but like maybe later in the night, could you throw in some hip hop? Or like, hey, like you're doing a great job, but like, you know, at some point, can you play some Mobb Deep or like something like that? Instead of coming up to me, showing me your fucking phone to my face, like the etiquette. So I called out a girl once. She came up to me, showed the phone to my face. And I got so pissed. I was in a bad mood. I was like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, you work behind you're a teller for a bank, right?" Does your boss come up to you and tell you over your head what to fucking do every second? No, right? Like you're a professional. You know what you're doing. Hey, I'm hired here to be a professional. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Let me do my job. And the girl's like, "Why are you acting so crazy?" I'm like, I can never win. I'm like trying to be nice and cordial to them. There's proper etiquette to asking for a song request. And the ones that know how to do it, know how to approach it. The younger generation, they have this one click of a button in their hand. Nah, they want instant gratification. Gratification. Yeah.
That's super rude. I've actually turned my brightness up on my screen. So like I would literally like put my brightness up and just flash them back in the face. Like while they're doing that to me, I would do it back. And in a dark room, their phone wouldn't be that bright. And then they'd be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "You see how rude that is?" Like where else in the world do you do that? Where do you stuff something in someone's face? Anywhere else?
This is exactly why I asked the questions, because I knew it was like it's fucking annoying, because I can't imagine of like you're in the groove, right? You're in the fucking you're in the groove, and all of a sudden you got this fucking drunk girl's like, "Hey, and you gotta like fucking do it's fucking annoying. I don't know why. It's everything.
I mean, you gotta have a roadie. You gotta have a roadie with you or security. To buffer, like you got a buffer.
The Flavor Flav that'll calm it down.
But now here's something like when I play internationally and I play in other countries, that shit doesn't fucking happen.
They have way better etiquette.
You know why? Because New York is fucking rude.
That is straight up.
New York, they're rude.
Forget about it.
Yeah,
we are. We're fucking rude people.
Yo, that's actually good segue. I was going to ask you, like, official music group, how the fuck did you guys become from, middle to top tier Manhattan DJs to all of a sudden international, like going to Japan, like having Japanese people fly here to hang out with you guys? Like, how did all that shit happen?
It basically, like, there's literally one person that made it happen. And unfortunately, he's no longer, in America. He's still alive, but this kid, his name was DJ Shinari. Long story short, I met him at this club called High Low in, it used to be called Bunker. It was in next to Dos Caminos, underneath this, like, it's called Troy now or some shit, or next to whatever.
It's in the meatpacking.
Yeah, so this kid heard, I think he thought I was this DJ, Ross One. He thought I was some other DJ. He heard me spinning. I killed it that night. He was the opener, and he was like, oh, you're so good, DJ. I could book you in Japan, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, bullshit. I've been told all this shit. Long story short, like 4 months later, this kid was fucking booking my flight to Japan because he was an underestimated, undervalued DJ in the New York nightlife scene. And everyone was using him to open up for free. He never got paid. I saw him. He had talent. I was like, yo, you're dope. Like, I'll take you under my wing. And Official Music Group was already probably 6 months established, maybe. So I was like, yo, work for me. I'll pay you if you send me to Japan. So he actually found me and made his best decision of his career to work with me. Then I put him on to us. And then once I touched Japan, like from there, the first tour I went out there, I met a dude from Belgium and another dude from Amsterdam. And then I linked with them. And then like I kept in touch with them. And so from Japan, it just expanded. Like the first tour, it took about like 3 years for me to really get more established in other countries. But once I went out there once and they saw like how humble, how cool, and how much fun I have, and I'm a dope DJ, but I like to party, I like to drink. And out there, they're fucking fishes. They'll drink and drink until they pass out. Literally, Brian saw this firsthand. There'll be people in fucking suits passed out on the fucking floor outside of the club, and there's no worry about ever being robbed. It's totally normal.
Yeah,
they just get so drunk where they fall asleep on the street, and it's
Sidewalk
like
safe.
That's crazy, right? Isn't that so crazy? That like robbery etiquette. They're like, nah, he's just fucked up. Let him.
In Japan, the etiquette's crazy all around. But to add on to the question, one thing that I think that's helped Official Music Group, expand its boundaries is that these people. So like, there's this idea that like of New York '90s nostalgia and hip hop and like cloth culture, like, and we represent that in a lot of ways. So Nick goes over there and he does his DJ thing in the club. But then it's more than that. It's the way he talks. It's where he's from. It's how long he's been doing it. It's the sneakers. Then he brings me around.
Yeah.
That was one of those things I was gonna get into because I know Nick is a very fucking a loud style, kind of like me, and like his sneaker collection is impeccable. I don't know anyone that can touch what he's got. He's got shit. He could flip a house with the amount of sneakers he's got with the value of what he has.
That is not a fucking lie, right there, my friend.
He has some really gangster shit, and I know, like, I have some other friends that went to Japan or whatever, and they said that they're very into fashion.
Yes,
they are out there.
It's so next level that every time I go out there, that I look at them as it's weird, and then 2 years later, New York is all about that. Like, they're so ahead of the game. I go out there thinking my swag is fire. And I look like I'm almost like, damn, I'm whack compared to these guys because they're so futuristic, next level, weird, but it works because like it's just so different, man. Like, yeah, I thought I was killing it out there wearing like Supreme SBs and like my fucking rap tee, and these dudes are wearing like next level fucking baggy jeans, but like wide shit with like wide, like the Yeezy style before Yeezy did the baggy t-shirts and all this shit. And I'm like,
they're like, haha, look at this white boy. He's
so I'm wearing like.
He's so spring 2018.
Yeah. It's crazy the way that they view fashion and the way. But back to what Brian was saying, like being that I'm from New York alone is like it like dudes were wearing Yankee fitteds coming up to me. I don't know these guys. They're bowing to me. Oh, arigato. New York. Yeah, New York. Yeah, I wear for you. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, but isn't that so humbling and sick that
oh man,
this state, being from this state, gets you love virtually almost anywhere across this planet?
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Right? How sick is that? Like, you don't get that if you're like, oh, I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. They're like, yeah, go fuck you in Florida. Go bring me some of New York.
Yeah. Even like New Jersey, like, yeah, I'm a resident DJ in New Jersey.
Doesn't ring the same. It doesn't ring the same.
They're not going to book you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, but back to what the original question was. I think between people being obsessed with, New York culture and authenticity of that, which is what Official Music Group represents. It was also Nick's great at networking, man. It was like he lily frog, like from country to country, and just made friends, and then just figured out a way to make it all come together. And then we have another guy that's helped us out. This guy Ammo. He had a lot of pull in New York, so then we just started like just everybody working together, and then it just all made sense. We came together.
We found the right guys that are cut from the same cloth, which in our industry is so fucking hard to find. DJ Ammo is one of the most humblest, best guys in the business. And when I first met him, I had the juice. So in Japan, I went there and killed it. They were like, yo, Official Music Group is amazing. Who's the next guy you're going to send? And I met this guy Ammo, and like he was working with some big promoters. I knew he was the right guy like to work with because he's cut from the same cloth. And he's like, when I first met him, I was like, dude, this guy's so nice, so humble. He's not like the other jerk-offs. And basically, I sent him to Japan after I went, and that's what built our bond. And he works with like George K and Dream Hospitality and the biggest promoters in the game. So that started our relationship with that. So like it was planned out, but at the same time, it kind of wasn't, and it just all worked out now.
It organically grew because you guys are fucking genuine dudes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or organic. Exactly.
The entire industry from the fucking doorman to the fucking bottle girls to the waitresses, the hostess, the general managers, the DJs, the bartenders, everyone is taught to be selfish and take a winner take all, the fucking hot bitch bottle girl gets the table that's actually spending the money. Like everyone else gets beat over the head. Like these places don't pull tips and shit like that. Like everybody's out for their own. Like it's a very selfish industry. To find something that's not that and join together, that's hard to do.
And I feel like being humble is probably one of the biggest things that you need to be, because I feel like if you're like a real jerk off DJ, like, oh, I don't want to play here. I don't want to play here. I only want to play here. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't. Nah. That's how I feel. Like I'm not a DJ, obviously, but I feel like if you don't start small, you're never gonna get big. You can't just be like, fuck it. I'm dope as shit. I want to play at the hottest nightclub here and there. If you don't start small, and that goes for anything. If you don't start small, there's never a way you're gonna get big. Well, you don't start at the top. You know what I'm trying to say? Like we were talking about it before. Paul, DJ Paulie D. He was fucking. Who the fuck knew him? No one knew him.
Right.
But after he got big, and then he started it up. But you were saying you guys started like this other DJ thing that you guys were doing. Like you want to explain that to us? Like what you were trying to do? What were we talking about before?
What Official Music Group?
Yeah, like you want to like just tell us what that's all about, like a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, back to what you're saying, like starting from the bottom, like not many people know that I put in like 10 years of me playing at fucking Regal Beagle, fucking Alpha, fucking Copperfields, Limestones, all these shitty fucking bars in Bay Ridge. I got my first gig in the city probably like 7 years after I started DJing, and then like putting in those work and all that, So basically the way Official Music Group started was because I got into the city. I played at Mad River, this bar on the Upper East Side.
Yeah, I remember that spot.
I was playing there Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, 7-hour sets a night. I was 21 years old, playing CDs, bro. Playing CDs still at this point, and like from there, then I got to another spot called Metro 53. Shout out to
man, remember that place?
Yeah. A shout out to In Good Company. That was their first nightclub they ever owned.
Straight up, that was one of the first places I remember doing that like $40 open bar.
Yes.
Get destroyed and listen to good music.
Will Sivian was the bartender. Shout out to Will Sivian. Dude, that from there they owned Libation. So I was a resident at Metro 53. I went to Libation. Long story short, Official Music Group started when I met Brian, and I was not to toot my own horn, but I was in such high demand they want me at Mad River, they want me at Metro, they want me at Libation, they want me at C, they want me here, they want me there.
There's only so many days a week.
Right. So I met Brian. I'm like, yo, Brian, you hold down Mad River, I'll hold down the other shit. And then we got more gigs and we got more accounts and more shit. I'm like, dude, I can't handle all this. We have to start bringing in more
Right.
guys.
So here's where like it works so perfectly. Is that remember before in the beginning of the pod I was talking about how I was shadowing Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is before we had all this work. Was that I was doing my due diligence as someone who didn't have this type of work or network yet, but I was following him and I learned how to play the room correctly. And these type of spots, all the spots that he's naming, are not promoter driven for the most part. They are driven in-house.
Alcohol driven.
Yeah, yeah. But these places have none of that smoke and mirror shit. It's a real crowd. You're organized by the owner and the general manager for the most part, and it's just very different. And you're playing most of the night, so you're gaining so much experience by learning how to take them up, take them down, repeat certain things. So now we have all this work, and I'm basically certified trained to do these type of spots just by being around and having my own spot at the same time. So now we just start building. Now I'm like, all right, cool. Let's start training other guys. And then before you know it, the first kid, Shinari, we start training him. He gets it. He was good. 2 more guys come on. We start training them. Before you know it, we got 6, 7 guys that are certified dope and take instructions. And now we got a little army of DJs that are ready, willing, and available at all times. And we got
so sick, man.
And honestly, like that's like the most unselfish thing to do, because like I know there's so many motherfuckers like, nah, I'll do all of them. They're not making money. I want to make everything.
Well, Nick was trying to do that, but there was just too much.
You want the honest opinion? You want the honest opinion? Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, like, yeah, I was definitely like, I wanted to play everything. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do it. And then I realized, like, bringing Brian on board, like, this kid saved my career. I owe this kid, like, everything. Like, it came to a point where I just couldn't handle it. You know, it was so much shit going on that I needed to bring somebody else on board. And in the beginning, I thought I could handle it. And then I was selfish, and I thought I was the man and all this shit. But, like, as you start bringing on new DJs, and Brian basically found probably 80% of the official music group DJs by going out, scouting DJs, listening, going to Fat Buddha, going to these other little hip hop spots and finding these guys. And he's the one that groomed them and trained them while I'm out there networking and showing my face and traveling. So he's the yin and my yang, the reason why we work so well together, you know?
Oh, he's Billy Bean and you're Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was keeping the infrastructure like tight and he was selling and it worked out. But basically what I did was, again, back to what I said before, was that I expected what I put in from people that wanted to get on. So I would tell people like, hey, you're off on Sunday? Cool. I'm doing this brunch. I start at 12 o'clock. If you're not here at 12 o'clock, then I'm not going to fuck with you. So be here at 11:45. Right there. That's grooming right there.
I always say, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
I mean, look, man, if you're not passionate about this shit, I'm gonna smell it, and then I'm not gonna want to bother with you. You know,
right?
It's really that simple.
Especially when you're trying to build like an empire. You know what I'm trying to say? Like as corny as it sounds, like if you're trying to build something, no matter what it is, and like you got guys half-assing it, like I don't want you on my team.
No, right. Everybody's got to be all in.
You know what I mean? Like if you're 100% in or you're 100% out. There's no 1 foot here, 1 foot there.
I'm not going to twist your arm to make you money.
Right. Yeah.
That's another thing. Like I tell people all this all the time. Like, yo, you want to make money? Nah, I'm good. Okay. You don't want to make money? That's on you. Like you don't pay my bills and I don't pay yours, so I don't give a fuck what you do. You don't want to make money? That's fine.
Look, the guys that fit into our system have real careers. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking the bottom guys are making 50, 60 grand. You know what I'm saying?
Sick.
Like that's DJing, like full-time DJing. Like you're booked all year, nonstop, holidays, and consistently for years. You know what I'm saying?
It's great to have an umbrella that will basically be like a union that will keep you working. You know?
We legitimized it as much as possible. Obviously, we couldn't do healthcare and stuff because at the end of the day, this is gig work. But we made it legitimate as possible.
Here's one thing
that's awesome because you know there's some kids that can't put themselves out there to market. They're just like, yo, I just play music.
Right.
Bro. Like I'm not a people person. I don't want to talk to motherfuckers. Like tell me where, tell me when, I'll set up and I'm gonna kill it and go home.
That's literally exactly what like Brian found. Like guys that weren't up to date with their social media, didn't want to take pictures, didn't want to put out the content, but yet these kids were fucking dope and they were They were unknown. They were hidden gems in this industry of great people, professional, on time, and would kill it, but yet were unknown. But Brian found them, and like we groomed them and fucking trained them to be able to do a 6-hour bar DJ set, to work their way up to get the opening set at the top club. To maybe some of these guys like Brian are now headlining top clubs in New York. You know, it's like.
But that's what a team is all about. There's always going to be you're always going to have a spot on your team and always going to have a job on your team.
Right.
Whether it's marketing or just fucking even just dressing the right way and fucking talking the right way.
Yeah.
But that's why everything clicks. Like even with this, like this podcast, right? Like this kid, I can talk all I want. You know what I mean? Like I don't shut the fuck up. But when I'm out there, like in person. So like Sean takes the lead and I just, follow through. Like Sean does the Instagramming and he talks to the people.
It's the exact same with me and him, bro. It's the exact same.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And then we just flow and it's working.
We
like
we play our roles and we do it well.
Yeah. Like obviously
well, we're growing, but
yeah,
we have goals and we're going to try to hit them all.
That's it.
One thing that I just want to point out that separates like Official Music Group from, there's tons of other DJ agencies, there's tons of other management companies, and I never thought that my company would be a competitor to some of these top companies. But what separates us is that we grew organically. Number one, we're a family. We're not just like, oh, cool, you're a sick DJ. Oh, here's a gig. No, like we all support each other. We talk to each other on the phone. Like it's like one of our female DJs, Ashley Huff, like she is like a sister to Brian. Like this is like someone that we've trained and have been around, and we care about each other. We're more than just a fucking DJ agency. It's cliche to say, but like we're a family. Like we help each other, we support each other. And that's what a lot of these big agencies and these big companies are missing. They're watered down with too many DJs. Right. The top guy doesn't give a fuck about the bottom guy. It's like a totem pole sucking dick to get to the top. And it's nah, we're all equal in OMG. We all take care of each other.
But that's a good attitude to have. That's how you will bring more people in because they want to be a part of something like that.
Let me ask you a serious question. You guys got a group chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
We got a couple of group chats.
Yeah. There's like the 911 group chat. Yo, I need a turntable. I need a CDJ to fucking, I need a wire to, there's a laptop standing around. Boom. We have that.
And then you got the more core intimate group chat.
The shit talking one, yeah, exactly.
It's not official. It's not official until you have a group chat.
Nah, that's a fact.
Yo, it's serious.
So
it sounds so stupid, but it's serious.
It's not official. Yeah.
What's going to be next for you guys when hopefully things start to open back up?
Brian, what do you think? Like,
so this is a fucked up time for us, man. Like,
yeah, bro.
I don't want to be morbid, but this is fucked up, man. Like, even for myself, like I'm getting back into the swing of like the new normal. But for a couple months, I was DJing 7 nights a week, and I was in the office, and I was excited. Every year we did our taxes. Yo, how much more money do we? I was hustling. Like I'm on this entrepreneur idea of like we're building a fucking brand. Let's go. Every morning I wake up on the right side of the bed because I'm doing something I love. I'm fucking good at it, and everything's working. So for that to cut off and maybe not come back.
You know what it is too? Like I don't know how you guys feel,
crazy.
but
It's crazy times.
I could just imagine how it got cut off. It's not like it started slowing down. It was just like boom, done.
It's a very weird transition
like
to be
the door shut, like you would walked in, the door shut right behind you. It was like
I think the thing that's bothering people is that there is no finish line in sight.
That's the problem. There's no.
Everybody's just like
nobody knows.
The fucking the emoji of the guy like confused like this. That's what's every day is like this.
And it's like, okay, we just took 3 steps forward and then 15 steps back.
Right, exactly.
You
so
know?
while we're planning, like me and Brian have been talking business ideas through this whole quarantine. Okay, so it's April now. All right, cool. So we're putting together our business plan for the next 3 months. Cool. Then 3 months go by, nothing happens. Okay, so now we're putting our next business. Okay, cool. So we don't fucking know what the fuck is going on.
It was just like the food. All right, indoor dining's happening. Where was it? Like July or August, when it was. And then he came out, was like, nah, just kidding. Next June. Next June.
At this point, we're at the mercy of our government and it's fucked up. There's no end in sight. This wasn't our fault. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. DJs are in a bad place financially and with mental health because a lot of guys, this is all they have. This is all they know. Some people didn't have a plan B. And this is where we say we're a family. This is what kind of stresses me out because, like, as a leader, we got this one kid. He's completely – I don't know what to tell him. I can be as honest as I can with him.
He just texted me, by the way. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but but in the current state of things, we've employed him for 3 years. Like, pretty good money to have more or less a part-time job because, you know what I'm saying? He's DJing 4 nights a week, like a couple hours.
At like this point, I mean, like, I don't know what kind of relationship you're going to be like, bro, I don't even know anymore. Like, that's like the legit answer.
Right,
like, bro, I'm sorry, but like I can't give you a fucking answer.
As the figurehead on the top, you got to be positive.
But no, 100%. Of course.
So it's such a hard position.
But you got to remember,
you can't feed them lies because they watch the news.
No.
The rest of us.
His name is DJ Be Real. This kid keeps it as fucking real as possible to everybody.
You want to know what I told him? Like, we're gonna have to seek other employment while we weather the storm.
We all have to get jobs. We have to get jobs. That's it.
Yeah, and to be completely honest with you, it's every man for themselves, man. Like, you have to really sit with yourself and figure out your move because I don't even have a move. You know what I'm saying?
It's sad to say it came to that, but like,
yeah.
That was going to be my point. Like, it's not like you guys are working and then him being like at home. It's like, guys, what about me? You guys are in the same fucking boat.
Yeah, right.
If I could understand if you guys were out there doing 3 days a week and it's like, yo, what about me? And you're like, bro, you're beat right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't put you on. But you guys are in the same boat. So there's only so much advice that you can give this kid. Like, yo, right now, like, you need to do what you need to do for yourself. And then when shit gets back to normal, we'll come back together.
That's the best advice.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Here's the worst part is that, maybe not in our direct, like, roster of, like, our top 5, but, like, within our OMG network, this is where, it's even more heartbreaking. Some of these guys are in their 40s, mid-40s.
Yeah.
Families and shit.
Families.
Yeah,
they got no retirement lined up. Nothing, like, pure gig work type of, troubles that come with this. And maybe they didn't set themselves up the best. And now the whole industry shook. No one has an answer. There's no end in sight. Like, DJs are in a bad place overall. There's a couple DJs, that maybe were a little smarter than others. But overall, it's fucked up, man. And
Well, I mean, it's fucked up just because this is New York where 90% everyone lives paycheck to paycheck. In the first place.
Yeah. And
DJs
are way worse at that because they want to stay on top of the newest trend with the newest Jordans and they're buying this and they're buying that. And like,
equipment's got to be fucking expensive.
Yeah, right.
And no one wants to save. And like, I was guilty of it when I was younger, buying mad Jordans.
We all did.
Yeah, like everyone, like, but as you get older, and the thing is, like, I'm 34. Like, these kids that are some of our DJs are 23, 25, like, and we're trying to preach them. We're telling them, start your own fucking LLC, start an IRA, dude, start like figuring about your future. But they don't want to fucking hear it because they're living their best life and they're playing them at these clubs and they think that it's all good. But I'm like, I've been there and I've done it. Follow what I tell you. Some of them you can't get
through.
Yeah.
Listen, one thing about the generation that's coming up, they're one-track minded. It's just they want to do what they want to do. They don't want to hear anything else. Like, bro, we were there.
Instant gratification.
We had $25 in our pocket going out, thinking like, who the fuck we were. You don't want to do that. Bro, I wasn't taking my job serious. If I could go back, I would take a lot more serious.
I would probably have double the amount in my bank account if I.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
if I was a little more serious.
I would hear like, "Yo, plan for the future." I'm like, "Fuck the future." I'm going out right now.
I was the same way. I lived every day like it was my last till about two or 3 years ago. I'll keep it real.
Right.
Going out was like paycheck in my hand. The next hand was giving it to the bartender. It was just came and went. Like, I would get my paycheck, go out one night and fucking, let's do shots and fucking do that. And now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, but this world pandemic should be a real wake-up call to all these kids because, even when you're doing that, you still have the opportunity to remake it up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe down the line you realize, damn, I wasted a lot of money. But right now, unemployment, all this, we're about to get cut off. It's
Yeah.
about to get real fucking scary. You know what I'm saying?
I've been saying this every podcast since Corona hit. If you don't wake up from this, no matter what you do in life or what you're going to do, if you don't come out of this with a whole different mindset, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
If you don't think that this can happen down the line again, you're fucking stupid.
Right. Like, all right.
Like the way
This was a question I had for you guys.
Okay.
And it kind of like goes into that because, you know, did you ever work a gig somewhere that like you just took a second to go, wow, I'm fucking DJing in this fucking place that like you thought maybe I would never see the inside of before. So like, you know, when things go back to normal, maybe you'll take that deep breath and look around for a minute and be like, yo, look at where I'm at right now. This is the shit.
I have the perfect story to explain everything about what you just said. It's like my last 3 years of my life, I've probably touched 15 countries. I've played like in Australia, Japan, 10 cities in Japan, 10 countries in Europe. Now, during those 3 years, I never stopped and really like looked at where I was at. I was always like, boom, I played next, where's the next club? Like I would play a show in Paris, then I'd fucking jump on a flight at 7 a.m. after I just left the club and go to Berlin. I'd play in Berlin. I'd jump on a flight. I'd fly to fucking Amsterdam. Like now this quarantine shit made me realize going through my memories and all of my Instagram shit, like I never took that time to just be like this, like to take a deep breath inside of the fucking booth and just be like, wow, I'm here. Like I played at this club Shoko in Barcelona. Shoko is possibly the #1 club in Barcelona for hip hop. I had about 3,000 people in a club in Barcelona, and I'm playing fucking Jay-Z or whatever the fuck it is, Empire State of Mind. I closed my set with whatever, you know, like I never took that moment to be like, wow.
I'm the king of my shit.
I'm like, I'm focused. I'm like, yo, like drinking, talking to people. Like I never was like, it just felt like I never appreciated it. And this quarantine is what allowed me to realize all the things I've been grateful for. And it's a bless. It's such a blessing to me. Like, even though I'm hurting and my pockets are like getting thinner, but like I personally needed that. Other DJs probably not, but like it made me realize how grateful I should be around all the friends and family I have supporting me this whole way. I took all that shit for granted.
I want to second that with the amount of work. Like I loved every second of the work that I had, but the thing was that I never took a deep breath. Like in the height of it, it was like, yo, we're fucking killing it. You know what I'm saying? Or let me just soak this moment in. And you're right. Yo, I think from this point on in my life, when things are going good, I'm going to try to just remind myself, like, even if it's in the shower, like, life is good right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me rub one out to how
You know what it is?
life is right now.
Life is good. Life is good.
I think it just gets to a point like what you guys are doing like becomes so normal to you that you can't even take a step back because it's like on the go so much. Like there's not a time to even just sit back like, damn, I just played in Berlin or I just played in Barcelona. Because it's so normal at that point.
Yeah.
And then when it goes away, it's like, fuck, man.
I was just over there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and now we haven't even left our fucking house. And it's so crazy. Like, yo, 2 weeks ago, I was over here. And like, all of a sudden.
I was in the red light district and now I'm just sitting in the kitchen.
Think about it. Like,
we're not going to talk about the red light district.
Think about it. Like, I could just imagine what it's been like in like playing fucking, DJing in a different country. But like, anything. You will blink twice and fucking, bro, I haven't left my house in 8 months or whatever it is, 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just yesterday while we were the life was normal.
Yeah.
Now it's just, bro, the way this shit hit, it's just, if you don't come at it as being humble, you're a real piece of shit person. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I wasn't that humble before, and Brian can, and I'm totally cool with talking openly about this now, but like I was definitely selfish. I was definitely like full of myself. I thought I was this type of DJ, but I still cared about my people. But at the end of the day, in the back of my mind, my ego, like when you see yourself in a billboard in Japan, like I took my girl to Japan on my first tour. Biggest mistake ever. Never take a girl ever anywhere you DJ. No. And she was like checking me. She's like, I was like, yo, I don't want to walk by the club because, like, it's not cool. Like, it's kind of weird. She's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you're gonna go back to fucking New York and DJ at Mad River on a fucking Thursday. You're a fucking nobody. And she checked me this is 5 years ago when I first went to Japan. And it never resonated in my head until I slowed down. You know what I'm saying?
So wait, how
I was just about to ask the same. I know exactly what you're going to ask.
How did you deal with meeting your girl like that? Was she your girl like when you already had something established, or was she knew Nick when he was not?
Okay, let's sum this up quick because this is my ex and she just got recently married. I'm not gonna
I was just about to say, is this girl still around?
No names, but
no names.
Yeah.
But
send it to her. Don't worry.
Yeah.
He's like, no names. Yo, we're talking.
Told me now. She'd be a little
right
jealous, but we're not gonna get. Anyway, all right. When I met her, I struggle with alcohol, you know, like being as a DJ, like I've struggled with that. And this is something that I would love to talk about on a whole separate thing, you know, in my own life, but not many DJs talk about the demons of alcohol, the struggles of waking up, the struggles of drugs, cocaine, other shit, like uppers, downers. You're around it all the time. So what I was getting to is that when I met this girl, I was sober for almost 8 months. I take my breaks. Right now I have it under control. I'm not the way I used to be, but I was dead sober when I met her. So she fell in love with that type of Nick, but that's not the real Nick. That's not the real Nick. So then eventually we drank in Miami together, whatever. And in Japan, you can't not drink in Japan. So she's like, babe, it's 4 o'clock. I'm going back to the hotel. And I have like a tour set up to meet 2 other Japanese owners of these other clubs. You drink till 7 in the morning. Then you hit the ramen spot at 7. Then you're drinking beers at 7. You get back home like 8:30, 9 a.m. Like real talk. So by day 2, we broke up like twice.
Holy shit. Oh, man.
I mean, she's dealing with a sober version of himself, and now
right.
Frank the Tank comes out.
Yeah. It wasn't
it's a little
good.
nuts,
Yeah.
It was like New York Nick and Japanese. You know what I'm saying?
So from this point now, as you guys have built like, you know, an entire following and a company from scratch and so on and so forth, how hard is it to find a genuine relationship now?
As far as females?
Yeah. Like, you know, how do you determine who's a groupie and
No.
who's real?
Nah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I thought he meant DJs. Okay, as far as dating, for me, I dated a bunch of girls.
He's way different. Let Brian talk first. Go.
I've dated quite a few girls.
Hold on. Wait, before you get into it, are you both single? I don't know if you want to answer or not. Like
Yeah, we're both single at the moment.
Yeah.
You both thought about it. I was like, wait, what's going on here? But okay, yeah. So go ahead.
So I think I've had more relationships in the club with girlfriends than I think Nick has. So I've dated girls that couldn't handle it. Straight the fuck up. They just like, nah, there's too many drunk bitches around. I don't like how you move. And I'm when I'm DJing, I'm DJing. Like,
right.
Don't bother me because I care that much about the performance art of it. Some girls still couldn't handle it. Then I dated this one girl, my last girl, Ratchet Bay. Shout out to her. She loved being in the club with me.
Her nickname is Ratchet Bay. We don't say names, but she knows who she is when she hears that.
Yo, she was great. She never bothered me. She knew I was there to work. She respected the grind. She also respected the hours in the office. She saw it more of as a legitimate job or legitimate company.
Yeah,
early on, it's like you're just a fuckboy who DJs. You know what I mean? Because again, the office and doing your taxes.
Yeah, well, wait. We had an office on 34th Street, like between 5th and 6th Avenue. Like we were official.
Official.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
Right.
But honestly, that perception carries over into your dating life as a DJ.
Absolutely.
Because if they'll talk about you to their big sister, to their auntie that they love, and be like, yeah, my boyfriend's a DJ. You're immediately being met with resistance. Immediately, it's a frowned upon kind of thing.
Right, because it's a party atmosphere.
Because
how can I take this? How can I date someone seriously?
And I'm sure it takes a toll because, like, right before you go to the club and your fucking girl starts fighting with you and gets you to the point where you're fucking angry. And then, like, you get there and, like, this fucking bitch pissed me off. And now
you're going to hit the bottle.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're in a fucking bad mood. And listen, for us non-DJs going to a club, I could just hear I could just hear it. Still hear it. I still hear it.
Well, look, I mean,
you know what I mean?
There's a lot of factors that go into this.
Yeah.
You know, there's
So
a
look,
lot of girls that are going to be like, look, you're not here for me Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, those are the days I need the attention.
Right. That's the only days they're allowed to go out in a sense because they might have a 9-to-5 job. So, like,
right.
Back to that. It's like trying to date a girl with a normal 9-to-5. It's fucking impossible. Like, I did it. It didn't work. I tried with a different girl who worked in nightlife. It didn't work. Jealousy. Like, I also never was mentally there with any girl in the last fucking 7 years for me to really want to give my all because I cared about myself. I wanted to be Nick Russo. I wanted to be the rock star. I put my girl second every time. And just to bring up a story, my father passed away when I was like 21, but my dad always told me when he was dating my mother, he was in a band. He told my mom, like when they started dating and they hit it off, he's like, listen, I'm sorry. I have to, I put my band first. Like, this is my career. Like, I love you and all, but like, I have to put this first. Fast forward 3 months later, he fucking realized that he fucked up. He climbed up her ladder escape and serenaded her with a fucking guitar and realized that, he really wanted her more than his music. I never found that woman that made me want more than music. Yeah.
Right. To flip the script on it.
And then the movie came out and the rest is history.
Tom Hanks kissed Meg Ryan.
I mean, but yo, to wrap it all up, man. Yo, look, you got to have a girl that's gonna understand.
Yes, exactly.
It's gonna understand you. You got to be on the same page. If you're not on the same page from the start, and she doesn't love the club and doesn't love what you.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh.
I thought I froze. I was like, fuck, I'm frozen.
Nah, we lost him. He was making such a good point.
Oh, Brian, you got to repeat that. You froze up. You got to repeat that.
All right, so where was I?
You were right here. Look.
Nah, you got to find the right girl that understands.
That understands you, and then the second thing is that you're gonna have to learn how to manage your time and sacrifice some of your time. Like, I haven't been home for New Year's in 11 years. You know what I'm saying? This will probably be the first New Year's. You got to start saying, hey, you know what? I know I work every Saturday. Let me take this Saturday off to spend time with my woman, spend time with my family. And if you don't do that, in the end, you're going to regret it. And while you're making money, you don't see it. But I think during COVID, I started to see it more.
We didn't care. We chose the fucking that extra $500 over hanging out with our girl on Saturday. I'll take you out Monday, babe. I'll take you out Monday. But she's like, I don't want to go out Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is where it all comes back to, where I said, like, now during COVID, this all hits us, no matter what it is. Now you realize, like, fuck, maybe I should have taken that Sunday afternoon off and went to, instead of DJing or instead of going here,
No, look, I get it. And I get what everybody's saying, but the way I see it is, look, those girls you guys dated, they knew what you guys were building.
From the beginning,
yeah. And you know what? They couldn't handle helping you grow an empire like something like that. Then they shouldn't have stuck. They didn't need to stick around anyway. You know what I'm saying? I would try not to fucking hang my head on like, yo, I was a little too selfish, maybe this, that, or whatever. They're supposed to be team players.
Support me and everything I do. Yeah.
Somebody else will come along and be like, yo, what you built is dope. I wish I was there for the whole thing.
100%. I was just going to say that. Like, girls, let's just say you guys had girls, right? They stuck around. They're in the back of their mind, they should be like, you know what? Let him grind and hustle right now because I know when things start to slow down, we got everything.
Yeah.
It's all going to be there.
The girl that I'm currently talking to, she got it. She understood it, and we were together. And then I broke up with her because I felt like I was abusing the privilege of not treating her the right way. But she was so cool with it the whole time. She's like, I understand what you do. I'm cool. I trust you. And at that point, I wasn't fucking other girls. I wasn't fucking being a scumbag. And like, and now we're cool. Like we're just like we're whatever. But like, I found a girl. I wasn't ready to be serious with her, but she actually understood it and she was cool with it. And that's so fucking rare to find a girl that's going to support what we do, because we're getting paid to party. We're getting paid to drink. We're getting paid to be around girls. Like, but I go in there and I treat it like a fucking job. 70% of the time, sometimes I don't care and I'm drunk and I'm like, whatever, but I'll still do a great job. But most of the time, we fucking really do care about what we do. And we're there to make people dance, to make people have fun, and to have a good fucking time. And if a girl's going to come to me and dance on me, yeah, I'll entertain it, but I'm not going to grab her and make out with her and try to fuck her. Like, it's like I entertain the girls that like are having fun. You know, that's part of the job.
A lot of these kind of professions are not for the insecure hearted at all.
Yes.
Even this kind of platform of what we're doing, like
yes.
if you're gonna be nervous that I'm gonna talk about some of our awkward dates or things that happen between us or whatever, you know, you're not gonna make it, because like I got a voice and people want to hear some of these stories about situations that we may be in, because it's all relatable shit. If you can't deal with it on that kind of a level, you got to look in the mirror and say, maybe I'm too insecure for this.
When I was with my ex, right? And we first started this, I said, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to talk about everything, whether exes. I said, but don't get me wrong. I will never get on here and embarrass you.
Right.
It'll get crazy. Stupid shit will be talked about, but I'll never embarrass you. And she was cool with it. She goes, I appreciate that. And that was it. And it was never spoke about again.
When I meet a girl now, I put all the cards on the table. I'm a grown man now. I back then, I would sugarcoat it. You know, like now I'm like, hey, I'm a DJ. I love drinking alcohol. I had a problem. Like, yo, if you want to deal with that, this is what I do. On the first date, I put all the cards on the table. Yo, this is what I do. I have my business. I did this for years. Are you ready to fucking be a part of this, or are you just trying to fuck? I always love hearing the fucking I'm just trying to fuck part, but, you know, if they want to be serious, you have to be ready for what the fuck we do and what we're about. It's more than just being around girls and drinking in the club. It's the overall picture is us getting money and building a brand to take it to the next level, to start a family one day, to be able to support a family, to be able to buy a house, to be able to like really no, all these girls that Brian was talking about earlier looked at us as like, we're like, oh, you're a DJ. Then they see our tax returns and we're like, or we'll tell them like, yo, oh, what'd you make last year? Cool. I made 3 times that. And you probably thought I made fucking 50 grand a year or 30 grand a year.
Yeah, because you got to remember, like, some of the girls that are going out are like, oh, you're a DJ. They talk about a DJ like from fucking like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I'm not your dive bar hole in the wall DJ.
Yeah.
Like a kid who plugs his fucking phone in. It's like,
well, that's the thing is that, you know, in early on, we didn't have the prettiest gigs. So like I said, I've seen a progression of my respect, not only with women, also with my peers. Like outside of a couple of my peers that like early on supported me, like with DJing, yo, you gotta legitimize it, no matter however it is. Like Nick traveling, no one can say shit to him wherever he comes from now. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Outside of him being legit on paper and really making money, like. And I feel like a lot of DJs struggle with that. I definitely struggle with that. And then it's like, damn, why is everybody like kind of like put me down for doing something, you know what I'm saying, for trying to build something.
Doing something you're passionate about and you love. Like, it's like, why are we getting like hated on? Meanwhile, we have more money. I make more money than some adults. I make more money than all the kids I went to college with. I went to a 4-year college. I got a full scholarship. I never graduated. I dropped out and I pursued this. And I know for a fact that I'm making more money than most of these kids. It's not about money at the end of the day. It's about
that's how you rationalize it when people are talking down to you. Because you're like, you sound crazy when you say that, but in your head you say that. You're like, well, wait a second. I make more money than you. Why are you putting me down?
But that's an overall insecurity for a lot of people. Like, you know, even when our friends doing this, like we're not even making money, but people will try to tear down your shit because you're doing something that you
want to do,
and it's like people will hate on it being successful because they're scared to do what they always wanted to do, so they're gonna try to tear.
And they haven't figured it out. They haven't figured out their passion. Like this DJ AM. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He said it the best. He said something like this. He was like, find something you love to do, right? Find something you love to do so much that you would do it for free.
Right.
Then find someone to fucking pay you to do that.
There you go.
That's what we do.
Right.
But it's with anything.
And fucking
Someone's always gonna have something fucking negative to say. No
nobody
matter what.
even knows that.
You can be making fucking $1 billion a year, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, but he dressed like shit." You know what I'm saying? It's just fucking something stupid. You know what I'm trying to say? It's fucking whether you just do what you want to do and don't fucking listen to anyone.
Those are the miserable people that are in the office and they're trolling on the internet and they're like, "Oh yeah, look at this kid, Nick Russo. Fuck this kid." Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm doing what I'm passionate about. What I've put in. I've been doing this for 18 years now. Now, in a typical job, a 9 to 5, you work into 20 years in a UPS, FedEx, or a fire. Usually, you can retire in 20 years.
Right.
I'm almost approaching 20 years in 2 years. I ain't fucking retiring. I don't have a fucking pension. I don't have a 401k. I do this because I love it. That's the difference between those people and us.
And low key, Nick told me the other day that if he really wanted to, he could be a teacher.
Yes, exactly.
Talk about
it. And he chose this life.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know?
I ain't choose to rhyme that chose me, right?
You know?
Bubba Sparks on the
Damn, I'm super trash for quoting Bubba Sparks right there.
Especially after he just quoted DJ AM.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, terrible. Yeah, but back to it, man. It also comes with age, man. As you age in this game, you become more confident in what you're doing. Because, you know,
well, look,
1 through 5, you're insecure, you know. 5 through 10, you're building your confidence.
Absolutely. Like, you can't tell the same game plan when you're 23 to a girl and think that she's going to take you serious.
Yeah.
Like, this kid's out of his fucking mind.
Yo, Nick, imagine at 21, you started DJing, right? You said 21?
I started DJing at 15, but like professionally, like 16.
All right, so like at 16, you told some girl you were dating, like, yo, I'm about to go to fucking Japan. She'd be like, go fuck yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Those were the days when everybody had their hair spiked with a headband underneath.
Oh, yeah. Scotty Too Hottie. Fucking.
Yeah.
Scotty Too Hottie. That was my guy.
Nick would go mid-conversation. Hold on, let me adjust my headband.
Yeah.
Real serious.
I have Regal Beagle on the school bus. Like, oh, fuck.
Oh, my God.
So, hang on. I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, what's up?
So, being that I've had just this enormous amount of time on my hands, I was always a podcast guy. Right. And I think what kept me sane through a lot of these months of, like, solitude here, isolation, was, podcast. So, obviously, you guys are passionate about podcasts. You started one. So I want to ask you, what are some of the podcasts that you started with that brought you into the passion and that you're currently listening to today?
So I'll take this one because this is short for me. I have never listened to a motherfucking podcast in my entire life. Okay? I'm being straight real with you right now.
Be real with us.
If you told me, hey, yo, go listen to this podcast real quick, I'd be like, I'll pass. Right? You know why I got into this? I'm going to be honest with you.
You like talking.
I love talking shit.
Okay.
That's 100%. 100% being real. I just love talking shit. That's it.
That's great.
I can literally talk to the fucking wall. I told you from the beginning. We were in a fucking group chat, right? And we were just talking. Bro, anytime a topic came up, it would last fucking 3 days. And I'm like, yo, why don't we just start recording this shit? Because some of this shit is really funny. And then we fucking bought it. Sean's more of a podcast guy.
Yeah, right. All right. So look, I'll get into, I'll tell 2 parts here. All right. So, I mean, I've been listening to podcasts for a while, quite a couple of years, I guess. My ex-girlfriend got me onto, I was telling Nick the other day, actually, we used to listen to like these, I think it's called The Last Podcast on the Left. It's just straight up and down, all about serial killers. And these guys are going to like serious detail about, and when we would go through the list, like, oh, let's go listen to the Ted Bundy one or this guy or this guy.
Those are really popular, I've heard.
Or the Zodiac or whatever. And they'll have like psychologists come in and break down like what their thoughts were and their angles and why they do this, or, you know, they talk about all the depths of serial killers and all that shit. Then I would listen to like, you know, some of the other shit was like, not really podcasts, but like satellite radio, listening to comedians and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whatever. And then fucking somebody told me like, yo, you know, fucking the X Factor guy, fucking Joe Rogan has a podcast, and he has like really interesting people on. And I was like, let me see. And I went to go check it out, and I'm like, oh shit, look at it, look at all like the different types of people he's bringing in. Like he'll go from Neil deGrasse Tyson to Alex Jones to a politician to a comedian, and I'm like, wow, let me see what he's all about. And then I got hooked into his show, and I was like, he's just a fucking humble, down to earth guy shooting the shit where you actually, he pulls the curtain down from certain people that you would never think that you would get to know. And he just bullshits with them. And half of the time they're getting fucked up, they're drinking, smoking,
Yeah, for sure.
and releasing all their inhibitions. And you're like, holy shit, I never thought like I would know Post Malone like that. You know what I mean? And I always thought that that was very interesting and a sick dynamic. Like, and I was like hooked. And then these kids came over to me and were like, yo, we're thinking about doing a podcast. Like, what is it? And I like broke it down to them like, okay, this is a podcast. And I had this idea in my head of what I wanted to do with us was like, I wanted to make it like we're sitting on my stoop with fucking a couple of microphones and everybody listening is also on the stoop with us, like a fly on the wall,
So
talking about this like
I'm
transitional period we have in our lives where like half of our friends are like full-blown adults and then the other half of us are like refusing.
So that's what I'll add to that. Like, we all grew up in the same neighborhood, right? So it was all about hanging out on a stoop and just bullshitting.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, Nick, like you hung out with Sean and them. So
Yeah.
So that's what it was. So now, as we grew up in our fucking teens and then our 20s, and now we're all hitting our, you know, our 30s, it was just like, bro, the shit we seen, went through, and now are transitioning into fatherhood and fucking everyone's having babies, who's getting married. It's like, that's what we want to hit, because the people that we're trying to get are the people going through the same shit that we are. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So it was just like, we want to bring back memories of how the 90s were growing up, and like how our teens were, and like shit that we got to go through now, or shit that we miss, or, you know, or like you guys, like bringing you on, like
Getting all different angles of
you know what I'm saying? Like going back now, like everyone's like, oh shit, I remember that club, or I remember he was there that night I went there, or fuck, like that's what we're trying to get out here. Like
You know,
eventually,
like
either we go serious or we're just bullshitting. You know, I don't know if you guys listen to some of our shit, but that's what we're trying to do here. And
The best podcasts have that.
right.
Yeah.
Like I tried to have a wide enough umbrella of topics that we could be as broad as we want to be and not fall into a niche where you're talking about the same shit week after week after week. And I was like, the best way to do that is bring in guests that I know, people that I find interesting, that have different angles of shit to talk about and address. And like, you know, some of the shit that we talk about is like a warning letter for fucking the younger kids that think that we're full of shit. When we have the knowledge, like, you could learn from us, don't be ignorant. And then like the older crowd that is like reminiscing of their yesteryears through us.
Right.
And then like everyone that is actually our peers, that like everything that we say resonates with them because they're going through the same shit right now. So like I try to hit every dynamic possible, and like, yo, it seems to be working.
because you got to remember something, like we're smack in the middle of everyone, right? So now there's the older group, and then there's the younger generation coming up. So like we're right there. So we experience what the group it came up on, but now we're going towards our parents' fucking, you know, time.
You know,
you're in the sweet spot. You're in that sweet spot.
We're right there. So I don't know. We're just trying to fucking shoot the shit with everyone.
Yeah, I want to cut you guys off real quick because we're talking about Post Malone and back to one of those crazy stories that you wanted to hear. I have a fucking epic story with Post Malone. So I'll make this as short as possible. I was touring in Brussels in Belgium. My boy DJ E-Nice is the touring DJ for Tyler Yahweh. If you don't know who he is, he's going to be popping. He's popping now, right now. He's on tour with Post Malone. His new track is with the baby. It's fucking fire. Long story short, I'm like, yo, he's on tour with Post Malone. He's in Munich, Germany. I fly from Brussels to Munich. He gives me all access. We meet at the airport. I'm backstage. I've never experienced like that real deal backstage tour life. So like I'm in Tyler Yahweh's changing room. Right up the alley is Roddy Rich's changing room. Then right up there is Post Malone's. Long story short, we're all drinking. I get invited with all the guys into Post Malone's changing room in his dressing room or whatever. His dressing room is like a fucking mansion. He has his own fucking 4 speakers, like subwoofers, like a whole DJ rig thing, beer pong. Like, long story short, I was invited back there. I started drinking. And me, like, I was like, fucking, I'm drinking until they kick me the fuck out. I ended up meeting Post Malone's guys, and they're all doing, they pull out a bag of drugs. And I don't give a fuck, we're on camera. I'm tipsy. We're going to talk about it. I took some what I was ever in the bag. I didn't know what it was. Fast forward, I'm getting more and more drunk. I'm playing beer pong with Post Malone, playing beer pong with Roddy Ricch. And then basically, when you walk into the room, you can't have your phone because they don't want you to record and shit. So they take your phone before you walk into the room. I met this sneakerhead kid, Benjamin Kicks. I don't know if you heard of him. He's like DJ Khaled's main guy. He's the one who started fucking Business is Booming.
Yeah,
so I'm like, yo,
that little kid.
Yeah. So I meet him. Now, Sean, imagine me, a sneakerhead, meeting this kid, and I'm like, yo, what's your number? What's your blah, blah, blah? And I go to grab my phone, and my phone is in the fucking lockbox outside. I go out to talk to Post Malone security. I'm like, yo, can I just grab my phone? I just got to get this kid's number. He's like, nah, chill. You can't do that. I go back in, whatever. Like, I'm chilling with drinking. Long story short, I end up getting fucking kicked out of Post Malone's changing room. I end up getting kicked out of the fucking stadium.
Oh, shit.
And they basically kicked me out and just sent me to the fucking airport. Meanwhile, I was supposed to stay there with these guys. I was annoying his fucking his security guard, and he's like, "Yo, I think it's about time you go." And like, I'm all fucked up, and I'm like, "Nah, it's all." He's like, "Nah."
Nobody tells me to go.
Yeah, they escorted me out with security out of the whole stadium. I slept on the floor in the airport and waited for my flight.
Holy shit. Oh man. And Post Malone's like, man, I wonder whatever happened to that kid.
we were like rapping lyrics together, peeing next to each other in the urinal in his thing. Like, literally, the guy loved me. Everybody thought I was cool. And then
I feel like Post Malone was like humble as shit.
First of all, he's like 23 when I met him. It's like he's like 25 right now. He's 26. It's fucking crazy. But he was the coolest guy that I've ever met. And his manager is this guy, Dre London. He's like the fucking man. Kicking with him, smoking weed, where everybody's partying. And like, I was just like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I'm getting drunk until I get thrown out. And it happened.
I got to say, yo, I've watched probably about 900 of Rogan's podcasts, and that's the only one I've ever seen them on. That Post Malone was like, yo, we're going to take shrooms, and we're going to drink Bud Lights. Like, yo.
How could you say no?
You can't say no. I just found it funny that a guy of his prestigious fucking honor and money, a bottomless pit of money, and he's like, I want infinite Bud Lights and shrooms, and I'm set. Yeah. Like, really? That's all you want?
Post Malone, he microdoses mushrooms, and like I met a drug dealer that sells me weed, and he's like telling me about microdosing, and like a lot of people are against drugs, and I get it, and a lot of people are fucking pussies, or they've been told since fucking Reagan and Nixon days that all this shit is bad. But no, it's actually not. If you take DMT or ayahuasca or any of these drugs that alter your brain, if you know how to take them in smaller doses where it's just opening up the serotonin or these parts of the brain that you've never experienced before, I'm all for that. I've done mushrooms before in like doses. Like, I've never ate a fucking full bag of mushrooms, but like I've tapped into parts of my brain that I never thought I could. And people that are against that shit are just fucking ignorant. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah, that is what it's going to be because of the stigma of what it is, instead of, small doses of psychedelics are probably way less harmful than fucking smoking crack.
Cocaine or fucking any synthetic shit that you're going to put into your body. All these pills.
I know Nick doesn't watch a lot of Rogan, but Rogan's a massive critique. He endorses psychedelic drugs on a very consistent basis.
Yeah.
Almost every episode.
Yeah.
Like, so he kind of says the same thing you just said. More with DMT's his shit.
Yeah, he loves that shit.
Yeah.
It was funny. One of my ex-girlfriends, she wanted to get DMT, and then like I was debating it heavily in my mind, but like our relationship was on the rocks, and like I was like, you know what? This is probably not a good idea to do it together at this point. Because
Yeah,
it
that could
probably
go
would have
bad.
ended up well. Like you need to have a very stable, uh, fluxing relationship to fucking do something like that on that level.
You can't
So
do drugs with someone that you're not fully.
No, you need full trust in the nest tree of trust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, for sure.
yeah.
so switching back over to
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I had
No,
to
no,
say
it's-
that post-man story for the
it's
people.
fine, it's fine, it's fine. So if you can, we're trying to get back into our questions that we usually ask all our guests.
Yeah.
So if you, when things open up again, right, like fully, or when things opened up, like what was the first meal that you guys grabbed? Do you guys remember, like when?
Brian,
Wait, say the question again.
When it opened up again, like what was the first thing you went to go eat? We asked,
outside.
Yeah, we asked these questions to all our guests.
That's actually a good question. I didn't rush to do anything because for me, I felt like the outdoor seating was awkward. I'd never like to eat on the sidewalk, even when it was available.
I
I
agree.
always wanted to be like, I used to go on dates. Oh, let's sit on the sidewalk. Why?
Nope.
So the bus
Nope.
could throw dirt on our food.
Yeah.
So I was always against the outdoor seating. So to be honest with you, I haven't gone out, and I spent a lot of time with Nick before he moved from Astoria, and like that's where I live. So we like contemplated, like one time we went to a table and it took him like 20 minutes to bring us waters and a menu, and we just walked out.
We just walked out.
Fuck.
So we haven't ate out. But remember, our life is eating in restaurants 24/7.
Yeah.
So I wasn't in a huge rush to go back. I was actually
right.
more in a rush to learn to cook for myself because this is
Yeah.
now I had
True.
time to learn.
True.
Yeah.
Watch them Gordon Ramsay shits, man.
Yeah.
And yo, side note, Brian's dad is a fucking 4-season chef, like highly renowned chef that's traveled all over the world. Like,
Oh shit.
and Brian doesn't know how to cook shit until
Nope.
until quarantine.
I learned quick
That's a
though.
fact. That's a fact.
It's like, yo, Dad, look what I could do. I made scrambled eggs.
Yeah. His dad is like a world-renowned chef. Legit. His brother's all about it. Brian is just a fucking
He's the
hip-hop.
music man,
He's
bro.
a hip hop head. Yeah.
It's like my son not knowing hip hop. It makes no sense, but
I know.
it is what it is.
Sean, I know you want to ask your question, so go ahead.
Well,
You know what question I'm fucking talking about.
because I know these guys are humble and chill as fuck, and they're definitely out there with
All
me.
right,
Go ahead.
know, like, what are your guys' opinions on like any of the supernatural stuff in the world? Like, your views
Like
on aliens, Area 51, or ghosts and spirits and anything like that.
Brian, you could talk first because I have input on this.
As far as aliens, okay, so this is what I've always thought, like my whole life. But as soon as I learned the solar system, and the reason why Earth has life is because of its distance to the sun. That's what I was taught, right? I think that's still right. All these solar systems and all these hundreds of millions of stars, how could there not be another one that lands with the same distance to create life? So I've always thought that there almost has to be life out there. And I think it's very ignorant for humans to be like, we're the only ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when they started breaking it down even more with the multiverses and shit like that, where you're really seeing the sheer size of the entire universe is just impossible.
On a mathematical number, we're 1 in a billion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's impossible.
Yeah, and again, if you go from the Big Bang Theory, everything just kind of landed where it lands.
Right.
It's a percentage. There has to be.
Right. In the numbers game, there's got to be at least one other.
Right.
You believe in ghosts?
Ghost. I believe in like bad energies. I don't know about ghosts, but I believe more in the energy thing.
Me too.
Like I think like certain fucked up places bad energy could loom, which would be similar to a ghost idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like my grandma's walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day that was actually pretty funny about a ghost. It was some shit like it said something like, how come all the ghosts are always like 1700 Civil War people. Like,
Yeah.
like in
Why
50,
aren't there new
like,
ghosts? Where's
right,
these new
like,
ghosts at?
like in 50 years from now, it's like Nate Dogg gonna be sitting in my kitchen, like, like smoking a J, like, you know.
Right. Tupac, right?
Yeah, you know, like it's always some weird, really ancient shit.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
You believe in ghosts, Nick?
Sorry, I'm just rolling a joint. I 100% believe that there is definitely aliens. 100%. I mean, it's fucking proven now. The Pentagon put out all these videos.
Right, I brought that up in the last one.
I mean, like that's been inevitable. I've always thought that there's definitely some other shit. As far as like, I've been more into my spirituality since we've been to this quarantine. I'm a heavy preacher of meditation. I've gotten deeper into my personal self, and I do believe that there are like mediums out there. I do believe in shit like that. Like I speak to a lot of these girls that I know that go to talk to these medium guys, and I never believed in it, but like the more I hear stories, I believe that there are people out there that have this. But I agree with Brian with the energy thing. Like as far as ghosts, I've never experienced some shit like that. I believe that there's spirits. I don't think that it's more of like a scary ghost. I believe that there's energy and spirits probably around us, but I'm definitely more about the positive energy. If I walk into a room and I could sense like negative energy in a room, I feel like there's something spooky or there's something wrong in there. But I feel like it's more of a feeling of energy and like around you than more of like seeing a ghost but I believe that there's definitely something out there.
But isn't it weird that us as humans would feel it, even if it's a well-lit room at 3:00 in the afternoon? If there's bad energy in the room, you know it. You fucking know it. And you're like, there's a weird vibe in here, and I don't know why.
Maybe it was like the people that were in the room before. Maybe someone got murdered in the room years ago, or like
Pasquale has a totally different vibe. He's like, somebody farted in the room.
I was just gonna say the same. I was just gonna say you walked into someone's fucking fart, and that's the energy.
That's not energy. That's not energy. That's a scent. That's not energy.
You walked in, it was like, wow, I feel something. The guy just fucking ripped one.
Well, look, I think this episode was fucking dope.
Wait, I do have one last question.
Yeah.
Nick, we'll start with you, or if you want to throw it over to Brian, whatever you want to do. For the younger generation coming up, DJs, what advice could you give someone who wants to get into this industry?
It's a great question, because what's funny, the last podcast I did, I literally got asked the same exact question, and I'm going to say the same answer. It's like, to the younger generation that are coming up, like, if you're passionate about it and you really want to do it, like, it has to be you have to be fully passionate about it. You have to give it your all. You have to be putting out content. You have to be out networking. I wish all the DJs the best of luck, but if I was going to give anyone advice right now, I would say take every fucking city test possible. Make sure you have a backup plan. You can't put DJing first anymore. I was lucky enough to have that ability. Some DJ posted this on Instagram the other day. Those DJs that were around from 2004 to 2019 should be so fucking lucky and blessed for their careers to be able to make that much money or whatever, to be able to I was just a DJ. I never had a real job. These kids nowadays, I would say, make sure you have a steady income and you would treat DJing as your passion project, as your side job. No DJ that's 2019 coming up is going to be able to DJ full time and make money the way that I did or that other DJs have, unless you come from money or you come from your father being an A&R or a music head or a DJ. Unless you have that in already with someone that you know has the following that's going to pass the torch to you, always put DJing second. You have to have a fucking real job. That's
because the market is flooded right now because
yeah, exactly. 10 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, DJing. Nah.
The technology that's out, like there's like mixing for fucking dummies and shit.
Yeah,
but it's not even that. It's just what we talked about before. It's just in a blink of an eye, everything could go away. So if you don't have that backup plan.
Right.
Yeah, you have more DJs, less clubs now.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right. And now everybody's looking for a gig. So it's
Brian, what about you? What is your advice for the younger generation coming up?
First thing is know your music, be humble, be a student to the game, be a student to hip hop. Like don't just have the 90s R&B crate with 20 records in it. Have 2,000 records in it. You know what I mean? Really know your fucking music to be a DJ. The fact that I feel like I have to say that is pretty disgusting, because the idea of a DJ was a music collector, but that's something that I see right across the board. I always want to address.
The younger kids want instant fame. That's what's wrong with everything about that generation. They want to become an instantly famous DJ because they saw it be done. They want to skip all the hard work and they want to get put on. And that's the problem with all these younger kids. No one wants to put the work in. There's only a few kids that I personally know that are willing to study me, watch Brian, come shadow us, come follow OMG. Nah, they're like, get me a spot. Yo, Nick, how do I get down with OMG? How do I get bookings? Hey, what's your name? Oh, cool. Mike, how about you come fucking meet me in person and follow me around, watch what we do. I could show you how to become a better DJ instead of asking me for a fucking gig.
Yeah, so know your music and don't take any shortcuts. No shortcuts. There's no shortcuts in this game. I'm still a student to this game. I'm still going back and revisiting the Firm album because maybe I hear it different now than I did then. And just it never stops for me anyway. And real hip hop heads, it never stops for them. DJ Premier is still downloading music. Like, it never stops. That's one.
That's the way to look at it.
And then the second thing, as far as like how to really move in this game and really create a sustainable lifestyle with this, I strongly recommend I co-sign everything Nick said. Like, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. There's kids running around selling dreams to other younger DJs, and it's just not a reality. Like, you really, really have to understand that in a blink of an eye, you're going to turn 30. In a blink of an eye, you might turn 40. And if you're just gigging, just getting by, you're going to put yourself in a bad situation. And I firsthand have seen that. So I think that you got to have your priorities set when you're doing this, man. Not everybody can win. Not everybody can be a star.
5-year plan. No one goes in it with a 5-year plan. When I first met that girl that I was telling you about that I took to Japan, she's a business. She was a boss-ass girl, and she told me, Nick, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? I didn't fucking know. I just started OMG. I didn't know. Now I look back at it. My 5-year plan came into fruition organically without me trying to think about it. But I would tell DJs to think, I'm lucky, you know.
That's not always going to happen for people.
No, exactly. I was one of the lucky ones that just organically had that energy around him where people wanted to follow me and build with me. Like, not every other DJ is going to have that. Like, it's just, yeah.
All right, so in closing, why don't you guys tell everybody where to find you, like your Instagrams or the official music group page and where to find you guys when life goes back to normal.
That's right. It's Nick Russo signing off. You can check me out on Instagram it's DEEJAY, DJ spelled out, Nick Russo, NICKRUSSO. Instagram, follow me. I'm probably not going to follow back because I don't really give a shit about social media. Official Music Group will care about you, though. You can follow that at Official Music Group NYC on Instagram. We show love. We want to find new DJs. We want to find new talent. This shit will bounce back. New York City will be better in a couple of years. We got to thug it out. New Yorkers will stand strong. We will stand by our city. All those other fake fucking fugazi hipster fucking losers that came here and thought they were New Yorkers, get the fuck out of here.
That's a hell of a closing. So
Go ahead, Brian. Your turn.
I'm at on Instagram. You can follow me B-REAL, which is Be Real NYC. That's pretty much it. Short and sweet. Do not DM me looking for work. There is no gigs.
Guys, I'm excited after this all goes back to normal to come out and see you guys.
Absolutely.
And fucking get drunk and party and whatever the fuck you guys do. Because
we'll do a recap like a year from now to see where we're fucking at or some shit like that.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
We're all gonna be bald and be like, bro, what the fuck?
It didn't get better. It didn't get better.
I got 2 kids in Japan I don't even know about.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having us, man. We appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
Honestly, I hope things get
awesome.
better and get better for you guys, and hopefully we see you out there soon. All right.
Appreciate it, yo, guys. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
See you later.
Signing off, yo. Peace.
Later.
Later.